Hi, my name is Pastor Jason Aguilar, and I'm the lead pastor of Christian Tabernacle, New York. And I want to share with you our story and our testimony of how the life studies has impacted our church. It wasn't but 2 years ago, 2008, that our congregation was approximately 50 members. And I remember a wonderful friend of mine, Simeon Costa, came to our church to help us, to give us instruction and to tighten the nets, if you will, concerning the back door. We would always call that in our leadership meetings, the back door, where people would just somehow slip out or slip through the cracks. And it was very, very important for us to tighten our nets so that when the harvest would come in and people would begin to visit our church and experience Christ for the first time, that they just didn't slip through the cracks just because we weren't able to make contact with them. And something that we discovered is that people really needed a personal encounter with God. So as we began to take the training and Simeon began to work with us in an incredible way, I'm so thankful because he really got in there with the people, and there were people that spoke Spanish, people that spoke English, and every week people were training, people were getting these life studies, and the training was just so vital, so important. People were learning so many things concerning the Bible. Even I was learning, just getting excited for what God was to do through the life studies in reaching souls, reaching people that have never heard the gospel and people that have never experienced Christ. So it was very exciting. But it took us about 3 months as we began to get into it and really get to the meat of these trainings. Something happened. We were about approximately, like I was saying, about 15 members every Sunday. That was on a weekly basis. We would on Sundays we'd average around 15 members. But during that time, we began to teach Bible studies, and we started with a few, maybe 5. It was about 5 or 6 Bible studies. And it was so powerful because we were doing this every single week, and little did we know, but momentum was building. And as they began to get into these studies over the consistency, because we stayed consistent at teaching these Bible studies, it just began to explode. And I'm telling you right now that our testimony is this: that around August of 2008, we had a concert, and we invited those people that we were teaching Bible studies to. And I didn't even know that this was happening because people were going through these trainings, and I had no idea. But when we finally got to that concert day, we had over 130 visitors in our church for the first time. And that day, the whole church changed. The whole chemistry, the whole just the way church looked was different. It was amazing. And from that point on, our church went from, on a Sunday, went from 50 to 150, and we never went below that on Sundays. And that was interesting because it's not just about, we started realizing that it wasn't just about Sundays, that there was things going on during the week, that all these people were coming during the week. People were getting these trainings, and not only that, but after they were getting baptized and we were plugging them into groups, it was a snowball effect. I want to say that the first I don't know, it was about 3 months, we had 150 baptisms, and from there it was just exponential growth from that point. We began people that got plugged in right away. They were getting into groups, and then immediately, I don't know if this was the right thing. In fact, Simeon was only with us for about 3 months, and then he had to leave, and then he just put it in our hands and said, look, just keep training, keep discipling. And so I don't know if this was the right thing or not, but we just started those that had just got baptized, those that were receiving Christ and getting saved. We immediately plugged them into the trainings. So we teach them how to teach the Bible study, and from there it went on. And this is where it really started exploding. Is that it was on Easter Sunday, 2009. A few months later, it was like 4 or 5 months later. It was so incredible because there was this young lady that came to church, and She came through a friend, through one of the life studies, a friend that invited them to come, and God did a miracle in her. And this is where it starts, really, where God steps in, and when these miracles happen, this is where everything begins. Where God kind of starts doing His thing. You do your thing by learning the studies and doing the trainings and staying consistent, but then God does His thing, and that's where the miraculous comes in, the supernatural. And it was so phenomenal because on Easter Sunday, this young lady was healed from 3 cancerous tumors in her knee. And God healed her, and through that one testimony, through that one miracle that God did, about 35 people got baptized. Family members, friends, they're now bringing friends. It's just unbelievable. Just that one person, and again, it just didn't happen right away, but this consistent, constant movement of the life studies on a weekly basis. And I mean, after this, I'm telling you, it wasn't even maybe 2 or 3 months that 35 people have gotten baptized just from that one life study, from that one testimony, that one thing that happened. And just from there, it just exploded. In fact, we had our largest service in 2009, which was just a year later. We had over 600 people in service, and from there, it just began to explode. I want to share with you that it's 2010. We are in March 2010. And God just began to, the church has started exploding. I mean, in so many areas. I'm not just talking about just numbers, but also as well as leadership, giving. There's just been an awesome atmosphere of what God is doing. And this year, God opened the doors. It actually was in 2009, September 2009. God opened the doors there, but this year we are having an awesome meeting, a crusade, if you will, to reach out to see lives changed at the Madison Square Garden. We're expecting over 6,000 people at this event, and it's just incredible. And I just really thank God for just that, the vehicle, the system of the life studies. It's just a phenomenal way and vehicle for us to be able to reach out to people. And honestly, I think back, what would we have done if we wouldn't have been consistent, if we wouldn't have really got and understood. And not only that, but there's action and work that it takes to do it. You actually have to follow the system. Like you got to believe in the system, and we did. And I think about it, I just don't think we'd be where we're at now if we didn't follow that system. And so I'm real thankful for Simeon and just giving us that understanding. And it's exciting because I feel like the sky's the limit. I feel like we can reach millions at this point. And I think that's what our heart is to see millions give their lives to Jesus.